But the only thing that really gets me on, say, for GM side is, if you remember, Dodge was the hard one to tune before. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get into a Dodge to save your life. And GM was cake. Now it's like kind of reversed. GM is really locked up, and Dodge is like, come and get it. So, but the Dodge stuff, I mess with the Hellcats a little bit. The transmission, I mean, if you compare the GM trans, because most of the GM stuff, we're just making the adjustment that we know is going to work, but the tables aren't defined properly, in my opinion.
Yeah, just a mislabeling
Dodge,
issue more.
You tell it to do something, it does it. Immediately. It is probably one of the most responsive transmissions I've ever messed with.
Same on HP tuners still?
That's using HP tuners.
Yeah.
Yeah. That 8-speed is, I had the community kills the Dodge. I had a factory wide body, and I wanted to do a 60 to 130 just to see what it runs. You know what they run factory?
No.
Take a guess. 700 horsepower car, right?
60 to 130. I'll be honest, when people start talking about 60 to 130, I check out.
It's a good metric because they actually have
It is a good metric, but for my brain, I'm just like, I think a time slip. I only can think in time slip.
So
I don't own a Draggy.
A pretty fast car is in the 5s. Mm-hmm. You know, a really fast, 1,000-ish horsepower car, 4s, 3s are like, you got a little over 1,000 and you can make that car work. Okay. It's very hard. They run 9.6s. That's like 2 seconds slower than a stock Mustang.
Yeah, why are they so slow?
I don't know. So what I did, I'd made a post, because when I first ran that, I'm like, man, this is weird. Maybe something's wrong with the car. Mm-hmm. So I get in a little Dodge chat on Facebook, because I was going to move into doing some more Hellcat tuning, because I did it in the past, and I just didn't really, I was really focused on the V2. So I was going to offer it to try to kind of...
It's a big market.
So I make this post, and instead of a reply of, that's what they run, or this, it was, you can't drive, bring it back to the dealer, maybe you can't handle the power. And I'm like, clearly you did no research on who you're talking to here. What could
you have done wrong?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I literally pressed the pedal to the floor. I even started at 40 to try to make it the best I could get.
Get some run up.
So with that said, I was like, okay, I'm already losing interest in this. But I started to mess with just the trans, not the engine side yet. I just wanted to see, because if you feel the trans on one stock, and you deal with transmission stuff a lot, you're like, man, this thing is really, really terrible.
Well, Dodge has always been known to chatter your teeth on a shift. Their trucks do it. When it shifts, you bite your tongue a little bit, because it kind of like...
Yeah.
Well, it like hits you.
It's a lot of, there's so much torque management in there. And the shift timing, for some reason, it's just, maybe they're doing it like that on purpose, to where the first clutch just doesn't release fully. And then once the other clutch is coming on, it releases and gives you that little pop. So I fixed that, cleaned that up, cleaned up the shifts, fixed some shift timing, not touching the engine, went 8.5. There's that much in that transmission.
Do you think they were just trying to tame down the potential of it spinning the tires when people floored it to try to help people? Well, it
would spin worse.
Yeah.
I had bigger issues, because when I was trying to do the 60 to 130, that shift was so like delayed and like a...
Yeah, like unsettled the car.
Right. It would knock the tires off. Huh. And then once I fixed the shifts to where they were nice and clean right through, the car went over a second faster and didn't knock the tires at all. So... But when I started looking at like a lot of the Hellcat files and stuff, because they're factory wideband cars, and that's where I think the, call it what you want, lazier tuners are sticking, because most of them leave the transmission stock. And I get that it works because the adapts work and the trans is phenomenal. But if I was able to gain a second on a stock car, what do you think would happen if somebody really pushed that platform? But the problem is the community. They're just, if you think anything's cultish, they are passing Kool-Aid around out there.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to the Bogetti Clips YouTube channel. For the full podcast, check us out on Bogetti Studios YouTube and all your audio platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the new Bogetti Clips coming up.